Good morning. Welcome to the United States Sports Academy and our weekly sports talk program. For those of you in the Southeast, I hope you got to work safely today. About half of our staff here at the Sports Academy was late because we were under tornado warnings, severe thunderstorm warnings, and flash flood warnings. A couple of people couldn't even get here because the roads between their house and the academy were flooded out. So we hope everybody's safe, getting ready for Christmas. One of our staff members pointed out to me this morning that exactly 1 year ago on the 23rd of December, we had tornado warnings. So hope everybody's safe and ready for the holidays. This week, we're going to talk about the annual Sports Illustrated. It's normally the Sportsman of the Year, but this year they changed it to the Sports Person of the Year because their recipient is tennis star Serena Williams. So Serena was announced last week as Sports Illustrated's 2015 Sports Person of the Year. So with me today, I have Dr. Brandon Spradley, our Director of Continuing Education for about 8 more days. And then we become our Director of Sports Management, becoming a full-time professor, which is great. Congratulations, Brandon.
Hello.
And we have Ms. Sandy Garinger, one of our wonderful teaching assistants. And Sandy has a place on this panel this morning, well-deserved, because she is actually a tennis professional. Has been a tennis professional for a long time and personally knows a lot of the players that we'll be talking about today. So let's start with you, Sandy. Do you think in all of 2015, do you think Serena Williams was a good choice as the Sports Person of the Year?
Well, I feel that after 30 years, this being the sole female to win the award is very impressive. She had a great year with a 53-3 record. I think that she's very competitive and she is a top-notch athlete. However, when I'm comparing possibly other athletes, if you're taking a look at Novak Djokovic, he actually had a better season comparing the two, between beating top 10 tennis players. They won the same amount of tournaments, but he got a little further in the one tournament that they lost. He made it to the finals, she made it to the semifinals. So I think even though it is well-deserved for Serena, I think if you're comparing even with just men's tennis, Novak had a pretty significant year as well.
And I think that's a really good point to make with comparison with Novak. And first of all, I would like to congratulate on behalf of the United States Sports Academy, congratulate Serena Williams for being named Sports Person of the Year for 2015. And I really, as I listened to her speech, I could really tell she was emotional about becoming the sports person. And I believe it's very significant that she is a woman, that won that award. And what it's been about 30 years, I believe last time it was Mary Decker who was the one to have that achievement. So I believe it was a great achievement for her. I could tell she was passionate about it. And obviously she had a great 2015 year, and she's been on the road for the past couple of years, and it'll be interesting to see how she does in the 2016 Olympics. But in my opinion, I do think she's well deserving of that award, but we can also always debate.
Yeah, it's tough because like last year, Madison Bumgarner won it, and really Madison Bumgarner had one incredible month. So Sports Illustrated, it's not an easy task. Sandy and Brandon both mentioned that it's been over 30 years since a female won the Sportsman of the Year at Sports Illustrated, and that was Mary Decker, the track star in 1983. There's been some other females who have won it, but they've never won it by themselves since 1983.
I would like to mention as well, though, Serena is listed on our female sports athlete of the year, and voting is still open.
That's right. It's open through the midnight tonight, and our winner will be announced tomorrow. And Novak Djokovic, who Sandy mentioned earlier, is on our men's ballot for athlete of the year, and he actually won it last year.
Yeah.
Last year we had 2 tennis players win it: Novak Djokovic and Maria Sharapova. Sharapova is not on the ballot this year, but Serena is.
And she's been on multiple times.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me ask the question a little bit a different way. If you had a vote for Sports Illustrated Sportsman of the Year, if you were one of those people whose vote counted, who would you have voted for 2015?
Well, honestly, I feel Novak was deserving.
Okay.
I think he had a powerful year, and he was pretty much unstoppable. except for the French Open, he had that one loss, but he still made it to the finals, and he beat he beat the second, third, and fourth seeded players throughout the tournament. You know, he had to really step up and play hard. So that would be my vote.
Yeah, and I think that's a good vote. When I look at all the sports, and for those of you that don't know, I'm a track and field person. I ran track in college. And Usain Bolt had a pretty good year, but I didn't think it was an awesome year as far as his standard. But I would actually vote for Serena Williams.
Okay.
I think she was well deserving with her achievement. So I would actually, if I had a vote, I would put her.
Okay. If I had a vote, I would have voted for Steph Curry. I think what he did last year for the leading the Golden State Warriors to their first World Championships since 1975, and what he did this year they're 25-1 right now in the first. And one of the great things about Steph Curry is for the last 2 or 3 years, all the basketball pundits have been classifying him as one of the greatest years of all time. I've heard 2 different basketball announcers, Tim Legler and Jalen Rose, both say this year it's time to quit referring to Steph Curry as one of the greatest shooters of all time. He is the greatest shooter of all time.
And I can also say when Steph Curry came into the draft, coming out of Davidson, I didn't think he was going to be that great of a player. And looking at the season that he's having so far, I believe he has a great chance of winning the award next year. So, and I think he's going to repeat as MVP if they keep doing well. So
I actually heard a great comment, and it's kind of silly to think about, but in some ways it makes sense. One of the guys on TV said, "Is it possible that Steph Curry can win Most Valuable Player again and Most Improved Player?"
No, because if LeBron would have brought home a championship to Cleveland last year, there's no way Steph would even be anywhere on this list.
So let me ask you another question. Sports Illustrated on their website, SI.com, let all the people vote for their Sportsman of the Year, even though it didn't. I think it counted as one vote, maybe. And the people voted. The people's #1 choice for Sportsman of the Year for 2015 was American Pharaoh, the first Triple Crown winner since affirmed in 1978. So people made a big deal back in '73 when. It had been 25 years without a Triple Crown winner when Secretariat won it. And then we had 3 of them in the 70s. We had Secretariat in '73, Seattle Slew in '77, and affirmed in '78. So we thought it was going to be one of those things that happened. People of my generation thought it was no big deal. We had 3 of them in the '70s, but it had actually been 37 years this time since a Triple Crown winner. So the people voted for American Pharaoh. So what do you guys think about that?
Well, it's interesting because I looked at those statistics, and 2 points is, one, Serena had the lowest percentage out of the people that they had listed on the selection. And second of all, there was a comment in Law magazine or something that said American Pharaoh lost out because he wasn't judged on his sportsmanship. He was lacking the sportsmanship qualities, and so that was his disadvantage to not winning. So it's just sports person. If it were a sports figure, I'd be able to wrap my head around it a little bit better. But
yeah, I kind of feel the same way because obviously the Triple Crown is a great and amazing feat, and you can't take that away from him or the jockey.
Right.
But when I think about sports person, I think about a male or a female athlete. So, but when you get Americans and those around the world voting, hey,
it's kind of interesting to me that the people voted for American Pharaoh back in 2000 when Sports Illustrated had their Sports Century, and they had the 50 greatest athletes. They did it every Friday night at 10 o'clock. It was really pretty cool. They had a show every Friday night. They counted from 50 to 1. And when they did their 50 greatest athletes of 20th century, number 35 was Secretariat. And the people just absolutely freaked out. How can you vote a horse as one of the best athletes of the century? And all the same people that were freaking out in 2000 are probably the ones that voted for American Pharaoh in 2015. Yeah. But my only problem with Secretariat at number 35 was I thought he was about 34 spots too low in the rankings. But we won't go there. This is a 15-minute show, and I can probably talk about Secretariat for a couple of days. Anyway, we mentioned Mary Decker having won it, having been the last female alone to win the award. Since 1954, when the award, Roger Bannister was the first award winner. Brandon, being a track guy, would instantly know why, because he was the first person to break the 4-minute mile. Yeah. But since Roger Bannister won the first one in 1954, Billie Jean King shared the award with John Wooden in 72. Chris Evert won in 76. Mary Decker, we already mentioned. Mary Lou Retton and Edwin Moses shared the award in 84, an Olympic year, by the way. Judy Brown King and Patty Sheehan were among 8 people who won the award in 87. And that was the year they kind of did a public service sports person of the year and had 8 athletes who had done a tremendous job of giving back to society, most of them dealing with children and young kids. In 94, Bonnie Blair shared the award with Johan Olav Koss, the legendary Norwegian speed skater. And one of the things that's kind of interesting when you talk to people who travel around the world, and I know Brandon and myself and Sandy working here at the Sports Academy have had a chance to visit some really cool places around the world. If you go to Norway, Johan Olav Koss is bigger in Norway than Michael Jordan or Tiger Woods will ever be in the United States. I mean, he's their speed skating coach now, and he's just a legendary figure, kind of like Pele is in Brazil. And you know, we think in here that our sports heroes are huge. You talk about Winter Olympic sports in Norway. Those and he shared that with Bonnie Blair. In 1999, the women's World Cup soccer team won the award, and in 2011, Pat Summitt shared the award with Coach K. So, you know, even though we think about the uniqueness of Serena Williams winning it, since 72, when Billie Jean won it, was the first female, there's actually been a female on the cover of Sports Illustrated in their Sports Person of the Year award 21% of the time, which is really not, I would have never guessed it would have been that high. Till we took a look at it.
Well, even when you think about that list that you just mentioned, Billie Jean King, John Wooden, Pat Summitt, Coach K from Duke University, and a lot of others, they were really ambassadors for their sport. And so, you know, we can name a lot of people that in this day and age that are truly ambassadors for their sport. And I would say Serena Williams is one of them.
Yeah, very true. And especially when you combine her with Venus. And you know, because Venus was at the forefront of the movement to get the prize money for women to equal the prize money for men. And you know, she actually took more of a stand than Serena did. I think Venus is one of the most respected tennis players in the world by the other tennis players.
I agree.
Well, what's interesting about the list is you have Billie Jean King, Chris Evert, and Serena. So that's 3 female tennis players on that list.
Yeah.
You know, one of the things they talked about last year was the Serena Slam, because she had actually won the U.S. Open in 2014, and then she came back and won the first 3 Grand Slam titles last year. So after Wimbledon, she was actually the current champion in all 4 of the majors for tennis. And by the way, she had also done exactly the same thing in 2002 and 2003. So they were calling it the Serena Slam. and so, you know, we had the same thing back in 2000 and 2001 when Tiger Woods won the last 3 majors of 2000, then won the Masters in 2001, and they call it the Tiger Slam. So what do you guys think about the quote-unquote Serena Slam? Is it really a Grand Slam, or do you really need to win all 4 tournaments in the same year?
I believe it's a significant accomplishment to win so many slams. However, let's take a look at, let's say, for example, baseball. Do you start batting percentages, you know, in August? It's a matter of, you know, the Australian Open is the start of the tournament season. And so, you know, if you're going to look at seasons and throughout the year and percentages, I feel that there does need to be some consistency with the seasons.
Yeah, I agree.
There was even some people complaining about the Golden State Warriors as they were approaching the 33 consecutive win streak by the Los Angeles Lakers, because it was like the last 8 games of last year and the first 24 of this year. So yeah, I agree. I think it needs. One of the great comments I heard was from John Cook, a professional golfer, when they were talking back in 2001 about the Tiger Slam, and they asked him, should we consider this a Grand Slam? And he said, what I recommend to all my fellow PGA players, even if you don't think it is, say yes, just so we don't give Tiger extra motivation to kick our butts. So, you know, one of the things that Serena has the opportunity to do next year is repeat what Steffi Graf did in 1988, and they call it the Golden Slam. And that's because that's when Steffi won all 4 of the majors plus the Olympic gold medal. Obviously, you can only do that in Olympic years, but Serena is the defending gold medalist in both singles and doubles in the Olympics, and she's the defending champion in 3 of the 4, and she'll certainly be the favorite at the U.S. Open. So how cool would that be for Serena to win the Golden Slam in 2016.
And it's interesting too, because in her speech, she said this award is motivating her even more. You know, she's like, you know, I'm ready to go out and start training and practice, and I'm not finished yet. You know, you would
Is
think.
she 34?
I think so.
Yeah, and I think bearing injury, she has a great possibility to do it. I mean, when she has the right drive and the right motivation, she has accomplished some great things. And you know, she's had some on and off injuries, but if she can stay injury free throughout the year, I think she has a good chance of accomplishing that.
If she did do that, think about all the milestones she would pass along the way. Right now, Serena's sitting at 21 singles Grand Slam titles, 36 overall, counting doubles and mixed doubles. And by the way, all 13 of her doubles titles were with Venus.
Yeah.
And she's got 2 mixed doubles titles. But she's at 21, if she won the Grand Slam this year, she would pass both Steffi Graf, who has 22, and Margaret Court, who's the current leader at 24. So we're running out of time here. So I think we're all in agreement that even though it's tough to choose, we think that Serena Williams was a great selection as the 2015 Sports Person of the Year, which, by the way, that's the first time Sports Illustrated used that word. They've used sportsman and sportswoman before, but Sports Person of the Year, we think Serena was a great choice. We wish her all the best of luck in 2016, going for the Golden Slam, and probably her last chance, because I imagine 4 years from now, that's going to be tough. It'll be a little tough on her. As Sandy mentioned, our Athlete of the Year ballot closes today. There's 12 great male and 12 great female athletes on that ballot, and we've gotten over 100,000 votes already, so we encourage you to vote through midnight tonight, and the award winners will be announced tomorrow on Christmas Eve. We will not have a show next week. We're gonna take the week off because about 75% of our staff will be on leave next year, spending some time with their families. We encourage you all to spend time with your families next week at 11:30 instead of taking time out to come visit us. And we will come back on the 6th of January. And our first show on the 6th of January will be a NFL playoff preview, because the last regular season games will have been played on the 3rd of January. And then we encourage everybody to go out. Speaking of NFL, we encourage everybody to go out this weekend and see the movie Concussion. We're gonna be talking a lot about that. We'll probably even do a show about that here in January. So those of us at United States Sports Academy wish everybody who watches us regularly, and even if this is your first time, we wish you a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. Whatever you celebrate this time of year, we hope it's a wonderful time with you and your family, and we'll see you next year. Have a great day in sports.